setting the table for Tuesday, April 9th in Leon County, Florida. Welcome to episode 386 of College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our channel. Smash the like button. If you like our content, share the video with your family and friends. Let's not waste any more time. The great Matt Baker, Tampa Bay Times, puts out an article. We provide a link in the description box. You can read the whole article. What's next for the Florida State ACC lawsuits, plural? The $500 million legal battle moves to a Leon County courtroom next week, Tuesday, April 9th. Put down your comments and thoughts in the comments section below the video. The next step in the $500 million legal fight between Florida State and the ACC is scheduled for Tuesday in Tallahassee. The two sides will meet in a Leon County Circuit courtroom about Florida State's lawsuit against its conference, not to be confused with the conference's lawsuit against Florida State, or the lawsuits, plural, between the conference and Clemson. That one paragraph shows how complex the back and forth month-long multi-jurisdictional litigation is. So let's take a step back to look at how we got here and what's next. Matt Baker, the great Matt Baker, Tampa Bay Times, setting the table for Tuesday. What's happening Tuesday? A Leon County judge, John C. Cooper, is set to hold his court's first hearing since Florida State sued the ACC in December. It centers on the ACC's motion to dismiss the Seminoles case or pause it until after the conference suit is resolved in North Carolina. More on that in a minute. What's the Florida State lawsuit about? Florida State's future in the ACC, or lack thereof. The Seminoles asked the Leon County Court to decide if a pair of 9-figure contracts are enforceable. Florida State says, nah, they're not. The ACC, they disagree. If the court sides with Florida State, the Noles could theoretically leave the ACC for free as soon as this year. If the court sides with the ACC, Florida State estimates its exit would cost $572 million. What's the ACC lawsuit about? Also, Florida State's future in the ACC, or lack of thereof. The conference asked a different court, Mecklenburg County, North Carolina, where the league is based, to weigh in on the same deals from the opposite perspective. The ACC says Florida State knowingly and willingly signed the contracts. If the Seminoles want out, they must pay what the contract says to pay. The ACC also argues Florida State has already breached some of its agreements. One example, disclosing terms of the conference contract with ESPN. What are the disputed deals? The first is a fee to leave the conference. Florida State estimates it at $130 million. Clemson pegs it at $140 million. We'll come back to the Tigers. Regardless, Florida State argues it's so exorbitant and disproportional to what the Noles received from the ACC that it is unlawfully restrains trade. The ACC calls it a form of alternative performance schools can use instead of stand. The conference also said the payment represents a fraction of the losses a team's withdrawal would cost the ACC. The second is the grant of rights. It's the deal where Florida State gave or granted the TV rights for its home games to the ACC. The ACC sold those rights to ESPN and now redistributes the money back to Florida State and the conference's other members. Well, ESPN actually redistributes the money to the conference, and then the conference distributes to the members. The league says Florida State gave its rights to the conference through 2036. That means the ACC would keep the Seminoles $30 million plus in annual TV revenue, even if Florida State leaves before then, before 2036. Florida State says those rights only belong to the ACC as long as the Noles are actually in the ACC. The rights to Florida State games then would accompany the Noles to a new conference. That new conference could then sell them to its TV partner and give money back to Florida State. What's this whole thing really about? Again, the great Matt Baker, Tampa Bay Times. You can read the whole thing on your own. There's a link in the description box. Money. That's what this whole thing is about. Money. The gap between the ACC payouts and the Big Ten SEC payouts is expected to swell to more than $30 million per school per year. The Seminoles fear that they cannot compete with the likes of the Michigan and the Florida if those schools have a conference payouts twice as large as the ones in the ACC for the next 12 years. For the ACC, this looks like an existential crisis. Its status would plummet without Florida State and or Clemson, the conference's top football brands. The Pac-12 collapse proves there's no guarantee of survival. How does Clemson fit into this? The Tigers filed a legal complaint against the ACC last month in their home court, Pickens County, South Carolina. It echoes many of the same points Florida State raised. A day later, the ACC sued Clemson in Mecklenburg County, North Carolina. That means there are 4 separate complaints in 3 different states. 4 separate complaints in 3 different states. Holy smokes. What about the other schools? Right now, Miami, pretty quiet. North Carolina Board of Trustees Chairman John Pryor saying the ACC is really representing the bottom tier of the membership at the expense of the top tier. The Tar Heels are in the top tier and regarded as perhaps the ACC's most coveted brand in a future round of conference realignment. They're the program to monitor. We agree. Holy smokes theater. We got North Carolina right next to Clemson, actually holding hands with Clemson. What are some of the other issues? Florida State and ACC disagree on who sued whom first. We told you this was complex. This was complex, so bear with us. The ACC filed its complaint against Florida State on December 21st. Florida State submitted its suit against the league the next day, December 22nd. Remember the Board of Trustees meeting? Florida State's Board of Trustees meeting on December 22nd? But the Noles have argued the conference broke its own rules by suing without a proper vote. The league says its actions were fine. Just fine, because the members approved an updated complaint, ex post facto, updated complaint on special January 12th meeting. The party that files first generally, but not always, gets its preferred venue. Both sides could see strategic, literal home court advantages based on how this dispute is decided. As one of the FSU attorneys said during a recent North Carolina hearing, litigants do prefer to have suits in their own home field. Some related questions. How will Florida State's sovereign immunity claims as a state entity affect the venue? What about the ACC's claim that it's a non-resident because it's based in North Carolina? And finally, in this article, what's the latest with the North Carolina case? Its first hearing on March 22nd seems like a mirror image of the upcoming one in Tallahassee, here in Leon County, coming Tuesday. It lasted 4 hours and had about a dozen attorneys present. That hearing focused on Florida State's motion to dismiss the ACC's case or delay it until after the Leon County one is resolved. The Mecklenburg County judge, Louis A. Bledsoe III, also heard arguments for and against sealing some of the contracts between ESPN and the ACC to protect trade secrets, potential trade secrets. He's expected to rule on the issues before Tuesday, April 9th. So, setting the table. Now, we don't know exactly when Judge Bledsoe is going to make his ruling here in Mecklenburg County. Between ACC and Florida State, motion to seal, dismiss or stay. Florida State wants that Leon County case to proceed, right, without Judge Bledsoe. Look, we don't know when Judge Bledsoe is going to make that ruling. Could happen today, Thursday, April 4th. Could happen Friday, April 5th. Or it could happen Monday, April 8th. But we do know the Leon County court case happens April 9th. And we do know that Bledsoe said he was going to make a ruling before that April 9th case started in Leon County. So buckle up, brace for impact. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel. Make sure you have your notifications on. We're going to come on live here at Peek Around the Corner, College Football's Peek Around the Corner, PATC. We're going to be going live when the ruling hits. And it could hit at any moment. There's not going to be some special announcement. The judge ain't going to say we're going to make the announcement tomorrow at 2 o'clock. It's just going to hit on their website. It's going to be on the docket. So we're keeping an eye on it. We're hitting that refresh button like crazy here at Peek Around the Corner. Setting the table, Leon County. It's going to be mighty interesting. We're going to be covering that as well on Tuesday. So stick with us here at Peek Around the Corner. Florida State, I think they have a lot of good points that they're making. One is, of course, is the venue, right? Home field advantage. Did ACC, when they filed first on December 21st, 2023, without getting the proper vote internally in the ACC, not giving Mr. Phillips, the commissioner, the legitimacy to file a suit on Florida State, I think that was a huge mistake by the ACC. Now, is that going to be enough to make it so Florida State wins home field advantage in Leon County? We're just going to have to find out. We're going to have to find out the ruling of Judge Bledsoe, and then we're going to have to look at what happens in Leon County, in Tallahassee, Florida. Interesting days ahead. Could be an interesting day ahead today. So stick with us. Put down your comments and thoughts in the comments section below the video until next time, which is going to be real soon from now. Until next time, from all of us at PATC to all of you, please you all take great care of each other. Thank you so very much.